Star Trek First Contact violates many of the things that normally make Star Trek, especially The Next Generation, feel like Star Trek, yet audiences love it. Why is that? How can the movie that broke all the rules be the most successful and most popular and most beloved film in the Next Generation franchise? I'm writer-producer Trader Bubba. This here's Cousin Emmy, and this is Bubba Breaks Sci-Fi.
This baby hits 88 miles per hour. You're gonna see some serious shit.
Whoa. Have you ever had a dream, Neo, that you were so sure was real? What if you were unable to wake from that dream?
So say we all.
Your father was captain of a starship for 12 minutes. He saved 800 lives.
Engage.
Bubba Breaks Sci-Fi.
Usually, Star Trek fans shy away from changes in the status quo. In a previous video I made about the episode titled Family, this was a heavy talking point, and man, y'all went crazy in the comment section on that one. Fans still argue about killing Picard's brother and nephew that were introduced to this movie in the movie Star Trek Generations. And in my video on Star Trek Generations, y'all made it very clear where you stood, and you were pretty 50-50 split on that emotional roller coaster of a change with Captain Picard. I bring this up because in First Contact, they changed Picard again. Picard suddenly becomes obsessed with revenge. He's reckless, irrational, he's emotionally unstable, not dissimilar from Star Trek Generations. He's basically turned into Captain Ahab, or in this thumbnail, Rambo. Lily literally has to stop him. This isn't the calm diplomat of Picard that we're used to from the series. This isn't even season 6 Picard, where he finally starts to let his guard down, especially in the last episode of the series. This is Patrick Stewart as an action hero. This is Action Man, Rambo, last man standing against an unstoppable force. They drew the blood. And what's funny is this movie actually ignores some pretty large problems with the script. The crew becomes stranded in the past, and nobody seems to be worried about how they're getting back. There's no mention of it. There's a throwaway line of dialogue at the very end. How do they get home? Nobody knows. Nobody cares to ask. Another thing was the introduction of the Borg Queen, and her presence in the franchise completely retcons and rewrites the history that we knew of the Borg. Star Trek fans usually hate this kind of stuff, but in this case, no problems. So why is that? It's because this movie and this script and the execution of this script into the movie that we got was damn near flawless. I think for so many fans, the emotional beats in this film just land better than what they attempted in the previous film, Generations. I think because of the history, obviously, between Picard and the Borg, and basically Picard being responsible for Wolf 359, shameless plug for a hat and shirt here. And because of that intense, action-driven backstory, the audience is a lot more forgiving when Picard needs to step away from the staunch leader that he has been for the last 7 years.
No! No!
This is a far larger emotional breakdown than what we saw from him in the previous film, yet it's much more widely accepted. And I think the reason behind that, again, isn't just the source material. It's not just because, well, we've seen the Best of Both Worlds episode, but it's because of Patrick Stewart's, quite frankly, award-winning performance here. It's because of the writing, which is just a little better than Generations. And I think it's just more relatable. Not everyone has lost family members they've only ever met once and been so emotionally upset. That's just a cold fact. But we've all experienced moments in our lives that we regret, that we wish we could change, go back and make better. And that's what the Locutus moment is for Picard. It's this heavy weight that hangs over him for many years. And this is the accumulation of really self-torment coming out. And him finally being able to tell somebody, no. It's him standing up to his own pain, his own grief, and his own guilt over what had happened in Best of Both Worlds. I'm also doing a giveaway when I hit 1,000 subs, and we're getting closer every day. This here, I'm giving her all she's got Captain shirt. I'm going to be giving away first and second and third place prizes as well. So 1,000 subs, hit that button.
Hello! Good luck with the giveaway. Bye!
Also, too, in this movie, and I love that they just completely reused the Voyager sickbay, the Borg are a lot more terrifying in this movie. They're built up in the Spielberg style. We don't even see them at first. We just hear them. The redesign of the Borg in this movie really makes them terrifying. They've really turned from cyborgs into basically zombies. And let's face it, zombies are cool. People get assimilated, you know, they updated that. It wasn't just them getting taken to a ship and sort of being tinkered with. This is violent and changing from the inside out. It's very reminiscent of just Dracula or something. And God, these zombies look so cool. And also too, we see Picard putting one of his own crew out of his misery. This is a big leap for Picard. But between the horror element, that is the Borg attacking the crew on board the Enterprise, we have these moments of levity, of comedy with Zephram Cochrane and Geordi and Riker and Troy on the planet. We get to meet Zephram Cochrane, the man who invents warp drive. And again, the writers are playing with status quo, because in this movie, Zephram Cochrane isn't the super smart scientist leader. He's a reluctant hero who doesn't want to be remembered. He did it for money. He didn't do it for fame. He did it really just for survival. It wasn't until after meeting the byproduct of his invention that he could finally see the importance of it. It's really a masterclass in not only writing, but also basic film structure and editing, because the back and forth between the lighter, humorous Star Trek lore story and the fighting zombies in space action storyline, it's a masterclass, really. The pacing is perfect in this movie.
Assimilate this.
My own biggest complaint with Star Trek Generations was, quite frankly, the pacing of the film. The first act in that film is beautiful. It's a little chunky because you really have two first acts with Captain Kirk and then the TNG crew. Star Trek Generations had so many tasks set upon it by the studio and powers that be, that First Contact really feels like the first actual TNG movie. What the really good question is, what does the audience want to see most from a TNG movie? Somebody was smart enough to say they want the Borg. Whatever happened to the Borg? I also love that every character, except for Dr. Crusher, gets a moment in this film, a story, a subplot, something to work with. But the Zephram Cochrane story arc in this movie is absolutely perfect. You know, if there's one thing Star Trek fans love, it's the lore of Star Trek, the idealistic nature of it. And how do we get there? And this is the origin of really everything Trek. And the inclusion of the Vulcans at the end as being our first contact, I thought that was a genius stroke. I think it makes a lot of sense to me anyway. I don't know if I'm sure somebody out there is going to leave me a comment on this video saying this is the dumbest Star Deal ever. God bless you. But I liked it. I think it was great. I think it was clever. I love that this movie gives the audience what they want with the Borg story, but gives them something new and fresh with the Zephram Cochrane and obviously the First Contact storyline. I think it adds to the mythology that is Star Trek, while still providing the experience, the action thrill ride that fans were craving in a Star Trek movie with this crew. And it's the execution of not only the script, but Jonathan Frakes behind the camera that really just took what is basically, again, Rambo versus zombies in space, and turned it into something special and unique that fans enjoyed and really connected to and responded to, despite breaking so many of the unwritten rules that fans generally get upset about when it comes to Star Trek. First Contact isn't the best written Star Trek movie. It may not even be the most faithful to the Next Generation franchise, but it understands something that many movies just don't seem to get. If you make the audience feel something strongly enough, be it fear, anxiety, or sympathy, whatever, they'll forgive almost anything. And in this case, when you really step back to think about it, when you put the fandom and love for the adventure aside, there's a lot to forgive in this movie. And Star Trek fans, we were happy. So maybe that's why 30 years since the release of this movie, fans still call Star Trek First Contact the best Star Trek TNG movie out of all 4 of them. Leave me a comment down below. Let me know what you think. Is this your favorite TNG movie? In my video on the TNG episode Family, I was doing a fun giveaway. For people who left the comment Emmy in the video on Star Trek TNG Family, they were entered into a chance to win this here Wolf 359 shirt. So I'm going to pick a random comment using this random comment picker generator. Let's see who wins. At Kyle Walker, I hope Emmy's husband is doing better. Thank you so much, Kyle. I appreciate you, brother. Guys, cousin Emmy could really use our help as she's expecting her firstborn. Unfortunately, her husband was recently hospitalized with some pretty major health conditions. So I'm doing this quick GoFundMe. If you're interested in helping, I appreciate it. I'm Trader Bubba. Don't go away just yet. I got another video popping up right here, and you're going to want to check this one out. I'll see you in the next video.